Owning more stocks does not automatically mean you're more diversified. Sometimes it just gives more places for the same risk to hide. A lot of investors think they're more diversified because they own 15 or 20 stocks. But when you look closer, the portfolio may still be leaning on one stock, one industry, or a handful of weak companies that never really earned their spot in your portfolio in the first place. After helping self-directed investors use rules instead of hunches for decades, we've seen this mistake over and over. The portfolio looks diversified on the screen, but underneath, the risk is still all bunched together. So today, I'll show you a simple 4-part check we teach our members called T-I-M-E Diversification. And by the end, you'll know how to ask yourself a better question before you buy your next stock. Does this make my portfolio stronger or just busier? Let's get to it. Now, let's start with what most people are taught. Most diversification advice is good, but for the area that it's talking about. Fidelity, for example, talks about spreading investments across different areas so your portfolio can better handle volatility when the markets get choppy. And that's useful at the big picture financial planning level. Stocks, bonds, mutual funds, commodities, real estate, maybe some cash. That kind of diversification matters. But if you're the person actually buying individual stocks, it leaves a big question unanswered. What does diversification mean inside my stock portfolio? Because that's where a lot of investors get tripped up. You know the phrase, don't put all of your eggs into one basket? But nobody really showed you what that means when you're picking individual stocks. So you end up doing things that feel diversified, but really aren't. You put too much money into one stock, or you buy 5 stocks from the same industry, or you fill your entire portfolio in one afternoon because the market feels good that day. Or you buy a bunch of random stocks and think, well, I'm spread out. But now you don't have a diversified portfolio, you have a busy portfolio. A diversified portfolio should spread risk on purpose. And there's another piece here. A lot of diversification advice assumes you're going to be fully invested all the time. So the idea becomes, well, since you're going to always be in the market, you should own things that just move differently. So when this is going down, this will go up. And when this goes down, this will go up. Your portfolio ends up playing this tug of war, just hoping it works its way higher over time, all in an effort to reduce risk. And again, there's a place for that. But at VectorVest, we look at things a little differently. We don't believe you have to be fully invested all the time. Sometimes the best way to reduce risk is not to own a bunch of different things that move differently. Sometimes it's just to own less. That's a big difference. We're not talking about portfolio theory here. We're talking about a practical way a self-directed investor can build a stock portfolio that's more balanced, more manageable, and actually more prudent. And the easiest way to remember this is T-I-M-E, time diversification. T stands for time, I stands for industries, M stands for money, and E stands for excellent stocks. The first way to diversify is across time. Don't build the whole portfolio all at once in one day. Just because you have money available doesn't mean you have to put it all to work all in the same day. We like to call this stepping into the market. And I like to think about it like this. When I would go visit my parents in New York over the summer, sometimes their pool is a little cold. And my kids would actually make fun of me because I would never jump into the pool all at once. I would put my feet in, then up to my knees, then up to my waist, and eventually I'd work my way in. I'm checking the water out. I'm getting used to it. Because if I jump in, yeah, maybe it's great. Maybe I'm enjoying the pool faster, but maybe the water is freezing and I'm getting shocked. The market works the same way. If you put everything in all at once and the market takes off, great. You got rewarded faster. But if you put everything in all at once and the market turns against you, now the whole portfolio feels it. So there's a risk to reward trade-off. Going all in might give you more reward if you're right, but it also gives you more risk if the timing is wrong. So that's why we teach investors to step in over time. You let the market prove itself. You don't just cannonball into cold water. You test it out first. The market deserves the same respect. And as conditions improve, you put more money to work. Inside VectorVest, the way we do this is with market signals. We call them green lights. The idea is simple. When the market gives a green light, that could be your permission to start adding positions. And if you're building a 10 stock portfolio, you might add 2 or 3 positions. Then if the market trend continues and you get more green lights, you add another 2 or 3 on each one of those subsequent green lights. And eventually you'll have a full portfolio. You're slowly building as the market trend gets stronger. You're not forcing the whole portfolio in on one day. That's diversification across time. The second way to diversify is across industries. And this is one that a lot of investors miss. They look at their account and they say, well, I own 12 stocks. I'm diversified. But then when you look closer at them, you see that 6 of them are in the same industry. That's not as diversified as it looks. Just because they're different ticker symbols doesn't mean that it's different risk. Years ago, one of our members came to us frustrated because his portfolio had taken a big hit and he couldn't figure out what he was doing wrong. So we asked him to send us a list of his stocks and the trades that he made. And when we looked at it, we saw that most of the stocks were all in the petroleum sector and a lot within the same industry. Yeah, they were all different companies, but the same basic industry. So when that industry got hit, his entire portfolio came down. He thought he was diversified because he owned multiple stocks. But really, he had made the same industry bet over and over again, and he didn't even realize it. And this is true for every industry, not just petroleum. Could be banks, semiconductors, software, you name it. Whatever industry might be hot at the moment. For a 10 stock portfolio, we recommend having no more than 2 stocks in the same industry. So before you add another stock, ask yourself, is my portfolio already full of stocks in this industry? And if the answer is yes, maybe the next stock should come from a different industry. Not because that industry is bad, but because you don't want one industry controlling the movement of your entire portfolio. That's diversification across industries. The third way to diversify is across money. You want to equally dollar weight your portfolio. You want to spread your money equally among the stocks that are in your portfolio so that one stock does not control the movement of the entire thing. You don't want your success or failure tied to one company. You remember sitting on those seesaws when you were a kid? Well, think about it now. You sit on one side of the seesaw and maybe your kid or your grandkid sits on the other side. What happens when you sit down? Whoom! Your child could go flying. What happens to you controls the movement of the entire thing. You want to make sure your portfolio doesn't look like that. If you're overweight in one stock and that stock decides to go down, it takes down your entire portfolio. The number of stocks that you own matters less than the amount of money that you have sitting in any one of them. You could own 20 stocks, but if half your money is in one of them, that stock is really driving your account. And that's not diversification. That's not balanced. That's just one big position with a few little ones just hanging around. At VectorVest, when we start a portfolio, we generally think in equal dollar amounts. So if you're building a 10 stock portfolio, each one of those 10 stocks starts with 1/10 of the overall amount of money that you've got. If you have a 5 stock portfolio, each one would start with 1/5, and a 20 stock portfolio, each one would be 1/20th. I think you get the idea. You are spreading your money equally among the stocks in your portfolio. Now, of course, over time, one stock may grow faster than the others, but that leads into a separate conversation on rebalancing. But when you're building a portfolio up front, don't start it out lopsided. Don't put half your money in one stock and then sprinkle the rest around in other stocks and call that diversification. You want each position in your portfolio to have equal weighting. That's diversification across money. The fourth way to diversify is with excellent stocks. This may be the most important one, because diversification doesn't mean that you just buy a bunch of random stocks just so you own more stuff. Again, you've heard the phrase, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Well, that's true. But you also don't want to put all your eggs in a bunch of broken baskets either. This is where you can get into trouble. You buy more thinking you're diversifying, but you're just giving yourself more stuff to watch. But if those stocks are weak, if they're overpriced, if they're falling, or if you just bought them because somebody on TV recommended them, owning more of them doesn't make your portfolio any safer. It just gives you more weak stocks to manage. There's a recent Investopedia article about Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's longtime business partner, and his warning against mindless diversification. The article made an important point. Munger was not really attacking diversification itself. He was attacking blind diversification, owning a pile of positions just to own a pile of positions. And that's exactly the issue here. Don't buy more thinking you're diversifying. Diversify into stocks that deserve a spot in your portfolio. Here at VectorVest, that's where the software really helps us out. We rank and sort thousands of stocks by their value, their safety, and their trend, whether they're going up or down. So instead of guessing from headlines or tips or people on TV or whatever stock is popular that week, you can quickly find strong candidates. In our Market Launchpad software, we give guidance on when to buy. And whenever it's safe to buy, you have help right next to it on what to buy. So when the market gives you permission to start stepping in, you're not sitting there guessing on what stock to buy. You have searches designed to help you find better candidates. Now, we do have other videos that go a lot deeper into how to find and choose the right candidates. You can find a link to those videos in the description. But for today, the point is simple. Don't diversify with junk. You want stocks that are fundamentally sound, safer than the average stock out there, and moving in the right direction. That's diversification with excellent stocks. So that's what we call T-I-M-E diversification, time diversification. Here's the simple checklist. Before you buy your next stock, ask, am I stepping in over time? Am I spreading across industries? Is my money balanced? Is this an excellent stock, or am I just adding another ticker? If you can answer yes to those 4, now you're not just buying more stocks. You're building your portfolio on purpose. So here's what you can do next. Before you buy your next stock, run it through the time test. Does it improve the portfolio or just add another ticker? And if you want more help making that decision with more structure, take a 30-day test drive of Market Launchpad. You could use this link or just click the link in the description. Other than that, we look forward to working with you, and God willing, I'll see you in the next video. Take care.
Market